How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back to another episode of Abandoned Cleveland. Today we are going to be talking about the Joseph and Feiss Company. If you've ever driven down I-90 in the west side of Cleveland, chances are you've seen this building. When looking south, just as you pass the exit for West 44th Street, you will see an old brick building with a white water tower that undeniably says, "Read more books" on the very top. But what is this building, and more importantly, why is it still here? I mean, the thing sits in the middle of a fenced-in field, and I remember being a little kid passing this building on the way to my grandmother's house. Well, today we answer those questions and take a peek inside. The company's history actually starts out in Meadville, Pennsylvania back in 1845, when Kaufman Coke opened up a clothing line for men and fellow tailors. The shop changed ownership several times, which caused it to move to Cleveland. Eventually, the company changed to Joseph and Feiss in 1907, and in 1920, a massive warehouse was opened up on West 53rd Street in the west side of Cleveland. At the time of the opening, this was the largest clothing factory in the United States. The company did very well for several decades, diversifying its clothing line and merging with the Phillips Van Heusen Court in 1966. In 1980, it even added women's clothing to its line. However, in 1989, Joseph and Feiss was bought out by the Hugo Boss AG, a German luxury fashion house.
In the last 2 years, Hugo Boss has invested over $6 million in mechanization and upgrade of our manufacturing process. I would say at this point we're probably the most modern men's tailored clothing manufacturer in the United States.
In 1995, the company suffered a loss in revenue and laid off 200 of its workers. Eventually, it was announced that Hugo Boss would be relocating to a new distribution center off of Tiedemann Road in Brooklyn in 1997. The 7-acre plant on West 53rd Street was left abandoned. In late 2003, the city demolished the massive manufacturing building in the center of the property, but left the two adjacent buildings erect for some reason. On July 17, 2007, a large fire broke out in the administrative building on the west end of the property. This allowed urban explorers and unwanted visitors to break in and explore the place. But why has the warehouse building stayed up for so long? To this day, it, along with the administrative building, is the only relic of Joseph and Feiss to remain standing. Well, after exploring the building earlier in the year, I thought I had an idea. In the basement and ground floor, there are massive metal water tanks, some of which still hold water, that were meant to be released if a fire broke out in the adjacent manufacturing building. These huge concrete and steel vessels would be very difficult to take down. But about a month ago, I found a better answer. On June 6, 2016, Menlo Park Academy announced they would be moving their classrooms to the Joseph and Feiss property and possibly move into the warehouse building itself. Here is an architect's rendition of what the renovated building could look like, and I gotta admit, this is really cool. But deep down, I'm torn. I absolutely love how the piece of history just sits there, open and forgotten, waiting for somebody to walk through it so it can tell its story. But at the same time, abandoned things never last forever, and the fact that this building is going to be renovated instead of being torn down is an excellent compromise. There's a special place in my heart for the history of abandoned buildings, and by any means, if we can repurpose one for as good of a cause as education, then let's do it. Still though, I'm going to miss this place when it's gone. Be sure to check out the building before work begins in a few months. The school says that it hopes to be open for the 2017 to 2018 school year. I'm going to leave you guys with some bonus footage of Jeff and I exploring the warehouse. If you guys like this video, please tap that button below and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep exploring.